But, getting to a fun little bit for us, we're going to do our predictions for the show. I'm not going to have everybody run down the entire card, where I'm going to go match by match, and we're all going to say who we think is going to win. All right? Or who our pick is, Let's should say.
Go.
So, first of all, thank you, Wikipedia, for giving me the entire match card. We're looking at a 10-man tag team match. We have Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, and Jurassic Express versus the Hardy Family Office. We have Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2. Who do you see winning this match? Let's start with Danny.
I just see Orange Cassidy, Best Friends and Jurassic Express winning. Should be a fun 10-man tag, a lot of chaos, but all the stars on one team, so they're going to win. And that's it.
Chad?
Absolutely the dinosaur.
Specifically.
Absolutely the dinosaur. And Orange Cassidy.
Dinosaur.
Orange Cassidy is hot as fish grease right now. So he's definitely going to win.
Hot as fish grease might be our title. I'm just going to put that in there now for the episode. Nick, who do you have winning?
This is on the buy-in, I believe. So I think, in an opening match like this, get the crowd going. I got to take the faces here with Jurassic Express and Best Friends. But it should be fun. I think they've done a pretty good job building this feud. Because and go back what we were saying earlier about AEW building a nice universe and everything's kind of connected. Jurassic Express had been beefing with them, and then they weren't, and Best Friends started to. And then Jurassic Express came and made a save today on Dynamite. So, quick little build to that match that's been built for months somehow. So I got the faces in this one.
I too am going to go with the faces. I think Orange Cassidy is too hot not to give him the win, and Jungle Boy also too hot not to give him the win. I could see it if you're looking to build some heat for Hardy and his group, but I think that's the beauty of their organization. They can keep losing and still be a nuisance just because of their numbers. Moving on to a match that was supposed to be in the buy-in, but due to an unfortunate match cancellation, is now on the main card. We have the 21 women casino battle royale. We already started talking about it. I think we all sort of have our hopeful pick, but just to run down the names, we have Nyla Rose, Thunder Rosa, The Bunny, Big Swole, who we haven't seen in a while, if I'm not mistaken.
She's been on Dark a bit.
Good to have her back. Julia Hart, Ty Conti, Diamante, Penelope Ford, Red Velvet, Hikaru Shida, Emi Sakura, Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan, Abaddon, yay Abaddon, Layla Hirsch, Killian King, Rebel, Jamie Hayter, Anna Jay, and two women to be determined. One of them most likely being the Joker. So, Chad, who do you have to win this battle royal?
I got to go Thunder. I think Thunder Rosa.
All right. Thunder Rosa.
Plain and simple.
Nick, who do you got?
I don't know if they're going to do Thunder Rosa yet. I think that's a really big money feud for Brit, and I'm not sure they're going to pull it yet. I'm having a really hard time. I don't think they're going to do Shida again, and it's going to break my heart to see her lose. I think good dark horse pick here, Layla Hirsch. She just won that match to go challenge at NWA Empower. And I think she'd be a good feud, like intermediate feud after Statlander over the weekend. So, give Brit a title defense in a couple of weeks against her on a Dynamite or a Rampage. So I think she's a dark horse, but I think I'm going to go with her.
All right. Danny.
Or Ty Conti. Both times.
I mean, I love the dark horse pick. I'm gonna go with Thunder Rosa though, because I do believe, I know it's a big money feud, but they did put a huge pin in it after they main evented Dynamite, and it's been so long. Thunder Rosa's pretty much dropped off the face of all elite wrestling, and I think it's been long enough where they can pick it back up. And I think it's a nice pattern because I think Statlander is the third biggest star in the women's division under Rosa and Brit. So like going from one of your biggest challengers to your biggest challenger to then Ruby coming in and then being the new biggest one. I think that's a good pattern. So Brit's title reign becomes. I don't want filler feuds on their title reign. I want big feud after big feud after big feud. So I'm gonna go with Thunder Rosa.
All right, I like it. I am actually in agreement with Nick on this. I think it's a little too early for the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker return, but I see that happening eventually. If we're not going to go with Ruby, I'm going to go with my heart here. I'm going to go with Abaddon just because I would just for the visual of Brit being afraid to put her hand in Abaddon's mouth for her finish. I think that'll be so much fun. And if we don't go with Abaddon, I'm actually kind of hoping it's Jamie Hayter. I know she's aligned with Brit right now and Rebel and that group, but I don't see that lasting for too long. And I think this could be a good way to break her away so she could develop on her own and her own personality. And so either Abaddon or Jamie Hayter if we're not getting Ruby. So
Hayter's a quick trigger then, huh? You think they're going to pull that fast?
I think we got to recognize she lost a good amount of time she was injured. So
and I think she was stuck in England or wherever, like COVID restrictions too.
Yeah,
that's what they were saying on the broadcast.
That might be it. My bad guys. But I could see them wanting to make up for lost time, and this could be a good way to establish her as a big deal and not just an underling. Moving on, we have a match that I know a lot of people are conflicted about, but I'm excited for. I'm excited for American fans to deal with it, or not deal with this, but to experience this. We're looking at Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kojima is a former IWGP champion. He is a big deal. He's on the older side, but he's still going. And I can tell you firsthand, I know this is going to be the first time a lot of American fans are seeing him wrestle. So I'm excited for this match. Danny, what do you think? Who's your pick to go? Who do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to be Moxley. I think it's going to be a fun match. I think it's going to be interesting, very hard hitting. Moxley is very good at having matches that are different than everyone else on the card, and I think this is going to be another one of those cases. But I think he's going to win. He is very well protected. I really don't see him losing this match.
Nick,
I'm trying to think of this more as a New Japan match than an AEW match, because that's what it basically is, right? I wouldn't even be surprised if they have it under New Japan rules, like they have a couple other matches. And in New Japan, I think Moxley is too good of a commodity to have him lose this match. So I'm also taking Moxley.
Chad.
I've done my Googles. I've done my Googles. I think I'm going with Kojima.
Upset alert.
Okay.
Hot take. He is like Jungle Boy. He's hot as fish grease. Apparently, I was unbeknownst to me, he was that hot. I didn't really know who he was until I saw it, but I saw the name, looked him up, saw a few matches. He's a little older, so I think this will be a good little bow out for
him. Personally, I have Moxley, but I'm going to add to this prediction. I think we're going to see a heel Moxley. And this is going to set up for. I don't necessarily think we're going to get a surprise New Japan appearance after the match, but I think this is going to set up for a heel Moxley feuding with a big baby face in New Japan. I don't know who. I think safe money is Tanahashi, but I don't know. But I think we're going to see a little bit of a change in Moxley, and I think that's why we're seeing Kingston moving on to Miro on his own and Moxley doing his own thing. I think we're seeing a little bit of a split there, and I think it's long overdue for Moxley. I think he's been sort of floundering since he dropped the title to Omega, and I think we've seen Moxley as a heel in his WWE run as Dean Ambrose, but I think this version of Moxley as a heel, he's going to be scary.
Crazy thing is he doesn't really have to change much.
True.
He's done heelish things. He just gets cheered for them. Now he's just, he acts like a bit more of a dick, and now he's heel.
And I think that's something to wonder. Actually, are fans gonna boo Moxley? I think it's probable, but people love a cool heel, and Moxley is cool as hell.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've got everyone's most excited match on the card. Paul White versus QT Marshall. Nick, I know how much you're looking forward to it. Why don't you lead us off? Who do you have?
I don't hate this match, man. Like, I mean, like, whatever. Paul White's back, cool. But I don't. Maybe it's just because I like Sammy Vlog, and I think he plays a fantastic dick on Sammy Vlog. But QT Marshall entertains the ever living hell out of me. But I don't think Paul White's going back to put him over. So give me no more BS, Paul White.
Chad?
I am a Big Show fan. I am. It is what it is. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate at times, but it is what it is. I'm going Paul White. Got to.
All right. Understandable. Danny?
Yeah, I mean, All Out is going to be a big show. So, yeah, I could totally see Paul White just dominating the match real quick and seeing how much he still has left in the tank for a potential Shaq match. So, yeah, that's all. Paul White, real quick, nice and easy squash match.
I hate how smoothly you rolled off that Big Show pun. I need you to know it.
Oh, you noticed that?
Oh, yeah, it was so subtle.
It took
so subtle.
It took every ounce of my body to not give you the three-piece drum there.
I too have no more BS, Paul White. I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be a fun little crowd pleaser to see him hit his greatest hits, and basically just to see if he can still go. You know, I'm hoping so. It's always fun to see Paul doing something, and I don't think there's much more to say about it. I do hope, though, that the factory get involved and we get to see them highlighted a little bit, because I think that's what this is really about. Moving past that, we have the Blood Feud. We have Chris Jericho versus MJF in what's billed as the final fight. Do we see Chris Jericho retiring? Do we see MJF elevating himself as a heel? Or is Jericho going to live to wrestle another day? Nick?
Damn, why'd you come to me first? Man, we talked about this earlier. They are really, really pushing this is Jericho's last match thing. And it's making me nervous that it is. I don't want it to be. And this is more of a heart than a head pick. I'm going to go with Jericho. I think they did a good job of in the last match in the Labors of Jericho, where Jericho had it, and if he hit the Judas effect and he didn't. So I think that's a good tease that he could actually beat MJF. I do have a prediction where if MJF does win, I think he kicks out of the Judas effect. I think, yeah, but I got Jericho just because I really want him to stick around.
I like that fun little bonus prediction. How do you think he'll win? If Jericho does win, how do you think he'll win?
I think he'll hit the Judas effect. I mean, it's what he does, because I think that's the only reason he didn't win the last match.
But then do you think MJF's going to kick out of one, but then lose to the second one?
No, I think he'll just do it. But I think whoever ends up retiring Jericho in it, or at least in AEW, I think whoever it is will kick out of the Judas effect, because no one's kicked out of it yet. I don't think, right? Is that still protected? So
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure, but
as far as I can remember, I've never seen, at least in AEW, I've never seen anybody kick out of it. We'll have to double check that. But I think whoever does eventually retire him kicks out of it once, and then he'll lose. So if MJF does end up retiring him, which would suck, I think he'll kick out of it. But if Jericho wins, it'll be via Judas effect.
Chad, who do you got?
I'm with Nick. They are making this seem as if this is really Jericho's last go. I mean, the age is there, the story is there. You know, it could go either way, but I'm going Jericho. He has to win. He has to. It's a must. He cannot retire yet. I mean, he can, but shit. No, Jericho wins. He has to. I hope.
Danny, do you have Le Champion or do you have the Salt of the Earth?
This is so tough because there's so much of Jericho's past like year plus in AEW that like he could retire. He had the whole night where it was like the celebration of Jericho, and he had that main event match, tag match against Luther. He's done so much that seems like career, like video package highlights for the end of someone's career. And if it's not going to lead to his retirement, like what story can they possibly tell to retire him? The only thing I can think of is him going for the title one last time, and if he loses, he retires. But I don't see any indication of that happening anytime at all in the future. So I'm gonna say screw it. Let MJF just beat him again, and have MJF never lose to Jericho, and have Jericho never be able to conquer MJF and have to retire knowing that. Yeah, I'll take MJF.
Oh, no.
But it's a coin flip, man. I really don't know.
You're a monster. No, my head says Jericho's gonna win just because I know he's got his contract until 2022, and I just can't imagine him being with AEW and not wrestling.
2022 is in like 4 months.
I guess that's fair.
Shit.
Yikes.
Well, okay. Way to make me rethink everything I thought. Thanks. I don't know. I'm still like, my head says Jericho's gonna pull it out and get the win, but I do think that there is something incredible about having MJF go undefeated against Jericho. It subverts the expectations of what wrestling tends to be, but in a way that wouldn't feel unearned. So I'm gonna go with Jericho, but I'm also fully expecting to be wrong also.
Okay.
We are going to move on pretty quickly here. We have Miro versus Eddie Kingston for the TNT Championship. I'll get this one started. I think Miro is winning, and I think if Eddie Kingston gets a rematch out of him, it'll be in New York, and I could see Kingston winning. But I don't see Miro dropping this on at All Out. Danny, what do you got?
Yeah, if it was in New York, I would have picked Kingston, especially because I think the company loves him so much and wanted to give him like some sort of appreciation for like how he came in during the pandemic, kind of took the company by storm and did so much for them. But yeah, I'm going with Miro since it's not going to be New York.
Nick?
I gotta agree with you guys. It may not be in New York, and Miro's just too dominant right now. So I'm taking him, and then he can go home to his hot, flexible life.
Chad?
I agree with you all. It's Miro. Yeah, short and sweet.
We all love Eddie Kingston here, but
big Eddie
just,
guy.
just doesn't seem like it's his night.
From Yonkers.
Not yet.
All right, I'm going to let Nick lead this one, but the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros in a cage match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Who do you got?
Tough call. I mean, the Lucha Brothers, like I said earlier, they're going to get a fantastic match with the Bucks here. They always do. I'm not sure that we're ready to have these heel Bucks and or Kenny lose their titles, which I guess spoiled that pick. But the Elite is just, they're too focused right now on being the Elite and being at the top of the card. So I'm taking the Bucks.
Chad?
I agree. It's going to be a phenomenal match either way. I want the Lucha Brothers to win, but I also, I see the Bucks. I think the Bucks got it.
All right, Danny?
This one is, I think, pretty close actually, because I can see the Bucks losing the titles because I think they've established themselves as those type of heels where they can honestly eat that loss and it not be a big deal. Especially because they had a good run with the tag titles. They took it off FTR. It's been a decent amount of time, and I think I'm trying to talk myself into picking the Lucha Bros right now. So I guess I'm just gonna pick the Lucha Bros since I'm trying to talk myself into it.
Well, it's good to want to believe in something.
Oh,
so.
and they have, I think the cage match too. I think that one of the whole points is since they have the cage match, the interference will be kept out or delayed at least long enough where we could. And if there's going to be a title change, I do think it'll be this match. So yeah, I'll slightly more confidently pick the Lucha Bros.
Better hope Tony Khan gets the keys back to the controls for the cage before that match happens. Otherwise, Don's gonna pull it up and everyone's gonna rush into the ring.
I love the point you brought up about title changes and how, for the most part, we don't think any of the titles are going to change. I guess, like Nick said, that's a little bit of a spoiler for the next couple picks, but I'm inclined to think the Bucks are holding on. I don't think there's enough heat to this feud against the Lucha Bros. I also think, I know I kind of reiterated about New York being a big deal, but I'm holding on to hope that the Bucks drop the tag titles to the Proud and Powerful in New York.
Yeah.
So I love the Lucha Bros, but I think it's a bigger moment in New York, and Chicago's had enough. So let New York get some good stuff.
Fair enough.
Moving on, Danny, I know this is one I think you're going to be more excited about. For the AEW Women's Championship, Britt Baker versus Chris Statlander. Who do you got?
I mean, I think we're all going to have the same person, but I'm going to go with Britt Baker, but I am very excited for this match. I think this is a dark horse match. I don't think it's even been given the kind of push and back in it deserves. I think Statlander is the second biggest star in the entire women's division besides Brit and arguably Thunder Rosa, but Statlander just has a unique gimmick, and it's not like a supernatural gimmick where she's an alien. She just dresses and acts like an alien. And it's nice. It's a fun gimmick, and she's very well protected. She hasn't lost. She's come back. And I don't even think she really lost singles matches before she got injured. She's with one of their most over people in Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. And I think she is a big deal, and they treat her like a bigger deal. They think she's a bigger deal than they even show her to us, because I think they believe the Best Friends are a top tier act, even if we might see them as like second tier. So I think this match could be amazing. I hope it gets a good time, but ultimately Britt Baker's going to win.
Nick?
I don't know what the hell Danny's talking about. Chris Statlander is clearly an alien. Come on, dude. No, I gotta agree with what Danny said. Statlander is definitely one of the top women's faces that they have. People love her, and she can really go in the ring. But it's too early in Britt's title reign, and so I'm gonna pick Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Chad, who you got?
We all know Brittany Baker, Pennsylvania. Yeah, Britt. I don't see Britt losing it right now. I have a hot take on who I think she'll lose it to, but not yet.
Oh, you can't tease us like that. Who do you think she's going to lose it to?
Squatting on a take over there.
No, I think she loses it to Thunder.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. I mean, I don't think anyone would complain if that happened, but we'll see. I'm going to be predictable. Yeah, I too think Britt's holding it. I would be happy if Statlander won, because I think she's a great talent, and she's definitely a little something different. And different is good, and AEW highlights different. But I think Britt is just too hot, and I don't even think the crowd, even though nobody dislikes Statlander, I think the crowd is just going to be solidly behind Britt for this match. And yeah, I think we're a little way off from that title changing hands. Finally. Oh, well, before we get to finally, let's talk about the match that was canceled. We are not getting Andrade versus Pac. That match has been canceled due to travel issues. I'm not sure who's to blame. I would blame, but I don't know who's the recipient of these travel issues. But that match has been moved to an upcoming AEW Rampage instead. So I'm very disappointed. I wanted that match to happen because I think it's going to be a good highlight for both the men. But I think we're all on the same page. It's unfortunate, but we're going to get it eventually.
I mean, I say to look at the bright side. Since it's getting pushed for a Rampage, Andrade is going to actually main event something in AEW. So there you go.
I do have to say that I think this is really going to hurt Andrade's early momentum in AEW, because we've talked about how he hasn't had a whole lot on this show before. So I think him not being on the card is going to hurt. He can recover, but it's not a great start.
Danny, I hate you. But
I get that a lot.
But I agree. I think this is going to hurt his momentum a little bit. But hey, it gives us another reason to watch Rampage. They are continuing to hype this show up as a big deal. All right, maybe it doesn't give Danny a reason to watch Rampage, but
we're saying the same things. You're just saying them more optimistically than I am.
But all right, moving on.
Sure, Eric won't watch either.
I'm not even sorry, Eric. Moving on to the main event for the AEW World Championship, Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Who do you got, Chad?
All right. This one is tough, because after Christian's little spurt lately, I do feel like he's really hot, and I feel like they don't want him to lose. If he does lose, it would be to Kenny. But damn, I'm gonna go against the odds. For fuck's sake, whatever. Christian. Probably won't happen, but whatever.
I am flabbergasted by that pick. I was gonna send it to Nick, but then when I saw Danny's reaction when you said that this one's tough, I need to go to Danny now. Danny, who you got?
Oh, I mean, when you think about it, it could be either one of them. They could totally give it to Christian and just have him beat Kenny twice and take all of his belts and push Christian as the face of the company going forward. I could see it totally going either way. But I'll drop my sarcasm for now, because it's going to be Kenny Omega. But I do think it's going to be a great match, and I'm glad Christian's in the spot. I want him to have this great match. But yeah, it's going to be Kenny, and that's all that needs to be said about it. But hopefully it's a fun match.
Nick?
I refuse to believe that anybody except Hangman Page is taking the title off of Kenny. Therefore, Kenny will retain. Good night, mwah, and good luck.
I'm going to go with my boy Kenny Omega as well. I think, as someone who is a big supporter of Christian Cage, I think he should thank his lucky stars. He even took the Impact title off Kenny. I agree. I just hope this is a fun match. I hope Christian can continue to remind everybody why he is in the position he is, and to just continue to remind us how damn good he is. And I think after this match, we're going to get a surprise. I don't know who. I know who I want it to be. I know who I don't want it to be. But I think Nick, I'm not even going to acknowledge you. Guys, for people
that
wondering,
acknowledgement.
You got me all worked up. I worked myself into a shoot. Okay, I worked myself into a shoot. I don't want it to be Bryan Danielson. I specifically made New York plans for Bryan Danielson's debut. I'm getting worked, but anyway, I want Kenny, and we'll see about that. And yeah, I think that's every match. I don't think there's anything else or anyone else important, right, guys?
No, nothing noteworthy.
No.
Can't think of anything.
I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Wait, hold on. I think there's a Chicago-made man. I'm seeing. Oh yes, CM Punk versus Darby Allin. Who do we have, guys?
Who knows, right? It could go either way. So let's just enjoy the ride, I guess. But I think we're all in agreement of who's going to win this match. But I'll say CM Punk. It should be amazing. We're all going to be on the edge of our seats, excited to see whatever happens. I'll enjoy it almost no matter what. We know someone who probably won't enjoy it that much, even though he's been waiting for it for so long. But we'll see. You know, as long as nothing terrible happens, it'll be great. Darby's going to be an even bigger star for losing to CM Punk.
I agree. Nick, you're chomping at the bit for this one.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I think this could be possibly the best match on the card, and maybe not even like just in terms of in-ring work, but that crowd is gonna be so rabid. It's gonna make it, yeah, it's gonna make it that much better. This is gonna have the biggest fight feel of all the matches on the card, to the point where like you could, in theory, and I know they won't because AEW doesn't really do this. You could, in theory, put this on last, and it would work absolutely fine. But this is gonna end up like almost like to a Rock Hogan at X8 levels of just absolute hype. I got Punk here. I think Darby is going to look like an absolute superstar. And I'm sure Punk would love to put him over, but you can't bring CM Punk back and have him lose his first match, at least in my opinion. You know, I feel like that just kind of kills the, you know, the buzz. So I got Chick Magnet Punk taking the dub.
Chad?
Oh, you already know what it is, baby. Philip Jack Brooks. Period. Nothing else to say. It's Punk.
The Walking Dead enthusiast?
Chad dropped the man's middle name. That's how big a deal this is. He dropped his middle name. Guys, it's not even a question. CM Punk is winning. If by the grace of comedy gods, you have Darby Allin win. What a way to have fans turn on him in a horrendous way. I think. I don't think it's possible not to. But yeah, no, it's going to be CM Punk in Chicago, reminding the world he is the best in the world.